There have been some requests online recently for a video explaining the game Ogre. I'm not great at making videos, but I do know some things about Ogre. So let me go ahead and take a stab at this. This is a table full of Ogre stuff. This is the first edition. The first edition artwork was black and red. That was the very first one in 1977, and it came in this Ziploc, or this baggie, not even zip top. And as you can see, it's got a bunch of counters. There's a map and there's a rulebook, and that was all there was to it. It did not even include a die. This is the second edition, and this is my first one. This is my original copy. It's now signed by Steve Jackson. And then this is the original map. You can see it's a very simple map. Steve had said at one point this is the computer's view of the map. There's go and no-go hexes. The craters are impassable to everyone. Only the Ogre and infantry can pass through the rubbled hex sides. So this is the original map. Now, this is the original cover to GEV, and here's where I have to introduce the one complexity to all this. Ogre is a very simple game. It's got basically one scenario where the Ogre tries to smash the command post, which usually lives down there, the very far end of the map. And it handles the individual tanks trying to stop the Ogres. It doesn't handle tanks on tanks. So GEV added a little bit more detail, so battle between the conventional tanks, the missile tanks and the hover tanks and the heavy tanks, would produce a more interesting game and introduce several new scenarios and new types of terrain and new units and so on. So a lot of times when people talk about Ogre, they're really talking about the whole system, which is Ogre plus GEV plus the additions that were added in the Shockwave expansion. So in this video, I'm just going to talk about the basics of Ogre. I'll have a separate video that discusses what was added in GEV and in Shockwave. So for now, we'll just start with the Ogre. This is an Ogre Mark III. As you can see, it's got several different weapons. Now, the armor on these things is 2 to 3 meters thick, and so they can't be destroyed outright. And so during the game, the defenders fire at individual components, the weapons or the treads or the missiles, and tear it down. And thus you have a record sheet. This is a Mark III record sheet. And you can see this is the one that was used in the sample game, and there's some marks made on it, and we'll come back to that in a moment. But in a nutshell, this is about a 1,900-ton, almost 2,000-ton vehicle that goes 90 miles an hour. And so it's really quite potent. This is the main battery. It's got 4 secondary batteries back here. Hopefully you can see those. They are essentially 4 individual guns. They are individually targetable. The Ogre can fire separately with all these weapons. Back here you can hopefully see that there are 2 missile launchers at the back. These are single-use items. You don't keep track of any ammunition in Ogre except for these Rattler missiles. The Mark III Ogre has 2 of them, and they're quite powerful. And then, of course, there's the treads on the bottom. You can see it's got 4 of these modules. They're quite wide, and each of them is several tracks wide. In terms of numbers, you see that the game is divided into hexes, like a good war game usually is, often is anyway. And the values for these things, the main battery has an attack strength of 4, defense strength of 4, and a range of 3 hexes. The secondary battery is slightly shorter, slightly weaker, attack strength 3, defense strength 3, range of 2. The missiles are very powerful. Of course, you only get 2 of them. Attack strength 6, range 5. If the defense tries to shoot at them before they've been fired, they have a defense of 3. So very long range. They're a key part of the Ogre strategy is when to use those. Lastly, there is the, you can see these little dots on there. These are anti-personnel weapons. They will shoot at incoming tank rounds and missiles. They're part of that's factored into the Ogre's, the defense strength of the various components on the Ogre. You might be able to see them a little better on this red tank. This is also a Mark III Ogre. Just for comparison purposes, here is the Mark V Ogre. It has 2 of the main batteries, 6 secondary batteries, 12 anti-personnel batteries, and 6 of the Rattler missiles. The defense will get more tanks to defend the command post against this tank, but the map doesn't get any longer. So the advanced, quote-unquote, advanced scenario where you're defending the command post against a Mark V instead of a Mark III, it's quite a different and more dramatic game. Takes longer. So that is the Ogres. Let's go talk about the Defenders. We will find them down here at this end of the map. So we'll start with the heavy tank. Moves at the same speed as the Ogre, speed of 3, Has attack strength of 4, same as the Ogre's main battery. However, its range is more limited. Range is limited to 2 hexes. The heavy tank's defense strength is 3, and if it's destroyed, then the whole thing is just gone, not like the Ogre at all. So that's the base armor unit, we'll say. Movement 3, attack strength 4, range 2, defense 3. Slightly lighter, much more faster, and tends to grab everyone's imagination, is the ground effect vehicle, or GEV, or JEV. This thing's got a skirt that's split into individual leaves, 2 big ramjets at the back, and a cannon on the front. This thing has a speed of 4, and after the combat phase it gets to move again 3 more hexes, for a total speed during the turn of 7. More importantly, it can run up to the Ogre, take its shot, and get away before the Ogre can shoot back. The payment for this, of course, is that it's not as potent. It has the same range as the heavy tank, but the attack strength is only 2, which is half of the heavy tank, and the defense strength is 2. Over here we have the missile tank. This is another variation on trying to damage the Ogre from far enough away to get some survivability. It has a movement of only 2 hexes, but its range is 4 hexes. Attack strength is 3, so it's more powerful than the JEV and has twice the range of the GEV or the heavy tank, and a decent attack strength, but it is slow at movement 2 and defense 2. It's not very potent. All these things are what we call armor units, and the defense will get 12 of these to stop a Mark III, or 20 of them to stop a Mark 5, but you also get some infantry.